Hi, Book 2. Welcome to Jackie's Literary Corner. I am Jackie, and once again, I'm in a different location because the tag I'm about to do involves showing you guys something. So and I'm sure you can guess what. Looking where I am right now, it was actually where we moved my bookshelf because if you guys remember, it was where my chair was, and now it's removed over here because so that it wouldn't be like you know it's just like it wouldn't be like in the way. And I do have books that I put down here on the bottom shelf that I constantly reorganize my bookshelves. And also, I'm gonna read the books on the bottom, so it's just easier to get to them. And that way, that space will be, the space where my new chair is, and it's the only thing that's there, along with the reading lamp, that Tari lamp I used to have over in this corner where I'm at right now. So, and basically, let me just say, I'm gonna do the bookshelf, the bookshelf, reader tag. I have to look. I do not remember what the name is, but I will remember it. I'll look for it when I upload this video. I wasn't sure if I wanted to do this because I was like, oh, am I gonna have videos to do next month? Because I think I want to have videos to upload to you guys in a next month as well. It's just I'm not as creative as a lot of these people, and I don't have the editing skills or the other kinds of tools to make the creative videos that some people make. And I always feel like, oh, I like that idea, but how can I come up with something that's my own and a little bit more original? I mean, I know nothing's ever going to be original, whether. But I would like to, just do my own. I don't want to look like I'm copying off of another booktuber all the time. So, of course, you could say that about that's when you're doing with tags. Okay, so the first question for the bookshelf readers tag, like I said, I think that's what it's called. I have to look it up. Is how many bookshelves do you have? And as of a few days ago, I now have 3 bookshelves. I have these 2. I have the one behind me. I have that one, and then I have one over there, all on the other side, in another part of my room that I will show you. The main part of my room, which I will show you later, because that's actually showing you all my bookshelves is one of the questions. So I have 3. Okay, and how do you organize your books? And currently they are organized by genre. The classics are separated because technically, I guess you could say, you can argue that classics aren't a genre because classics, have their own, have the same genres that we have today. There are fantasy classics, there are adventure classics, there are sci-fi classics, etc., etc. But I think for the sake of, people, I think we just get into the habit of looking at it as a separate thing, and just another genre, even though it isn't technically another genre. But they are separated from all my other books. Well, with the exception, I do have some classics over on the shelf I showed you earlier that was against the wall. Not the one behind me, but the other one in the corner. I have some classics that, like, I have only one book by that author, or I have only like a few books, like 2 or 3 books by that author. And then which that's the other way I kind of, especially particularly with classics, they're separated by author. My original plan was to separate them by the publishing company that they're from, because I have a lot of the Barnes and Noble classics. Of course, Penguin. Everybody has at least one Penguin if you collect classics, I think. The Oxford World Classics, Word Cloud Classics. I don't know if that's just an American company, because a lot of the British booktubers I watch, they don't ever mention the World Cloud Classics. Although Mary from Among Stories, who I think is originally, I think she's originally from Portugal, and that's in Europe, I believe. And I know she has or at least her Lord of the Rings books look like World Cloud Classics. But they might be something different that just is similar, but they look like World Cloud Classics. And then I have quite a bit of a handful of the Arcturus ones because, as I've said, they're my favorite. And I think that's from World Sweetwater Press. But I've only seen, again, I don't hear a lot about those editions from those ones from a lot of the British booktubers. Mostly I hear about those editions from the American, although I thought Sweetwater Press was the British publishing company, but I'm not sure now. But I usually get those from Books A Million. So I was going to separate them via that, but then my mom has suggested some of those those big leather-bound Barnes & Noble with the ribbon bookmark, and they will have multiple books by that author, multiple novels in one big bind-up. And they look like old books. Some of them do. My mom was like, "Oh, those are nice. You should put those on display. They're so beautiful." And which was surprising because once I mentioned to her that I had paperback copies of some of the books that are in those books, individual copies, then I'm surprised she wasn't going to add, okay, well, maybe you should get rid of those. But they are nice. And we actually used them right before we moved as part of the aesthetic of our house when it was shown to people. But she was like, oh, you should include those. So I decided to put those on my shelf, which is partly why I have over 200 books. Which actually, that applies to the next question, number 3, which is how many books. And I have 290. I counted all of them, and I have 290. Like I said, that's including those books from the leather-bound Barnes & Noble classics. And then the other part. Oh no, it's actually, if you didn't actually count them or don't want to count them or whatever, I guess you can do a guesstimation of how many books you have. But I decided to count them just a few minutes ago, right before I started filming this. So it's 290. Okay, what is the oldest book on your bookshelf? And my original, when I first heard this question, because I've seen this tag before I decided to do it today. And at first I was thinking oldest book is in the actual literal oldest book that you have. But then when I watched someone filming this the other day, it was like, oh wait, maybe they mean the oldest book the one you've had the longest. Because there's a question number 5 is the newest book on your shelf. So it makes sense that maybe they mean actually the one you have had the longest. So I decided to include both. So let me show you those. This one, I think this is the oldest. Okay, so this is the one I had the longest because my knees hurt. I got this a long time ago before we moved. This is one of my first classics I ever bought. Along with Lord of the Rings, and which I ended up donating those because I know, this is blasphemous, but I'm probably never going to read that book, but I have listened to the audio. Sorry, I know I keep mentioning that. I need to stop mentioning that, because, it's not like anyone ever directly says to me, how dare you, you're not a fantasy reader if you haven't actually read the Lord of the Rings books. But anyway, so I had this long before we moved. So this was probably one of the first classics, one of the first huge classics that I bought. And then I feel like this is the oldest book out of the books. And that is Vanity Fair. It looks old, although maybe it's not, because I have recently bought other ones. By William Makepeace Thackeray. This is, from what I've heard, this is basically the British version of Gone with the Wind. Well, it even says a novel without a hero. And let's see if I can. And the copyright date from Random House is 1950. So, and see, all the pages are yellow. In fact, they're actually more red at the top. And this is modern. I think this is also Modern Library because of that symbol. Like I said, it just looks like it's probably the oldest book. But I don't know. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think it is my oldest book. Okay, so next question is the newest book. Okay, so let's see. I have quite a few that I've bought recently. That one. Those three, and then what's the other one I bought? And then that one. Oh, and then there's this one. Here, and then I bought that. That's one I bought. I bought that one. These. In 1 second. Hand. So, alright. First, I was looking for a Tolstoy. Particularly, I was looking for Boyhood, Childhood, and Youth, I think it's called. Caroline Marie Reeds and Emmy are reading this year. They're doing the for 4 years in a row, actually. Like they have a 4-year plan. They're gonna do a Tolstoy versus Dickens debate book club, and the first book they're reading is Tolstoy, the Childhood, Boyhood, Youth book. I was looking to see. I was hoping that was there because I wanted to participate. Because the only ones I have some of them, but not all. I don't have all their books, so I didn't have this month's that one. I was looking for it at Black Castle Books. So because I didn't find it, and they only had two, and the only other two Tolstoy books they had were ones I already had copies of, and I wasn't gonna buy another copy. Well, there have been times where I've been tempted to buy a different copy of some of my other, and just have two copies, but at the same time, seeing what's the point of having two copies? One of them is just going to sit on your shelf, and the other one you're going to read. And I just personally, for me personally, it's like, what's the point of having two, when you're only going to read one of them? Like, I feel guilty if I just had a feeling guilty that one of them is just going to go to waste, because books are meant to be read. Mostly. So I ended up seeing this one, which I did not know that he wrote fairy tales, or folk tales, I should say. 3 Simple Men and Other Holy Folk Tales, and it's retold by John M. Sweeney and illustrated by Anne Mitchell. And he wrote this after War and Peace and Anna Karenina. And this is basically some of the folk tales from Russia he wanted to preserve. Looking at the back here. Okay, so I'm gonna skip that first paragraph. You've met these characters before. There is the simple, wise old man who understands more than he knows. The pompous religious expert who discovers his folly before it's too late. Nosy neighbors and petty relatives, and a fight between good and evil, in which by the story's end good and evil almost seem to switch places. These classic tales were made popular long ago by Tolstoy in Russia, are retold here for English readers in a new century. So I thought that was really cool that he at one point told his own folk tales from his own country, and then he said these are retold versions of them. So I thought that was cool. And I'm keeping that here because I want to answer another question. And then I've been, and actually you guys have already seen these books, but the question is, what's your newest book? So these are my newest purchases. Although part of me had a thought about bringing up Going to Books A Million today, if my mom wasn't doing anything, but I'm trying to resist that urge to mention bringing it up to my mom, and she might not want to go anywhere anyway. So, okay, so the other one is the Oedipus Plays by Sophocles. I've heard most about these plays from Jean from Jean's Bookish Thoughts, and so finally I spotted this. And that's the great thing about a used bookstore is because there's so much there. Everything is not as efficiently organized. I mean, there is organization obviously, but it's not as I think it's easier in a mainstream bookstore to go to your favorite genre. In my case, it's fantasy just to go to that section and not even consider picking up books that you are, you're curious about, but you're like, it's just too easy to go to your favorite genre or whatever and just pick up those. So an used bookstore kind of forces you to try out other genres, ones they are somewhat curious about. And, and then also it's cheaper. So that's another reason why you might be willing to risk getting into something that is not of your typical genre. And like I said, I hear Jean from Jean's Bookish Thoughts constantly talking about these, and I thought, why not? Why not check these out? I mean, in fact, I remember in college when it had been a long time since I did theater, and I decided my last year at my college, CSM, I decided to go ahead, join theater again, take a theater class, and we actually, I believe we did do the, one of the Oedipus plays, or a scene from an Oedipus play, or another group did it in my class as well. So I just remember hearing about it in that theater class. Like I said, either my little group did a scene, or maybe we all did a scene, or maybe just only one of the groups did it. But and then I also think about, when I look at this, I think about the scene in Buffy season 1, the episode Puppet Show, where their new principal Snyder made them perform in the talent show, and they decided to do a scene from the Oedipus play, and all three of them were like frozen on stage. They were freaking out and nervous and stuff, and it just looked so awkward. Like, both Buffy and Xander gave their lines, but they were so stiff and formal and just in shock that they were in front of all these people. And then Willow, I think she gave her first line, but then she froze up completely and then just ran off stage. So I thought, I always think about that part. And I don't think they always show that scene on TV when they replay Buffy on TV, because I watched it on like channels like Logo and stuff. But I think they kind of skip the scene when they play it, because you know how when you put something on TV, you have to edit in stuff and things are edited out. But I have the DVDs because my wonderful best friend Terry loves me so much and got me the DVDs one year for Christmas, I believe it was. And and of course they're gonna have that scene on the DVD at the end credits. But yeah, so I want to check this out. I don't know, I couldn't really tell. I do believe that incest is involved in the story. Like, he doesn't realize, like, I think Oedipus doesn't realize he has an affair with his mom or something like that. I think a lot of mythology is full of a lot of weird, inappropriate stuff like that. That today we were like, what the heck? But back then it would be like, oh yeah, that's wrong, but it's normal. I think. And then the other three books, I ended up buying were a trilogy from an author. I already have two of her books by this author, but I don't have the last book in that particular trilogy. That's what I was hoping for. But I decided to go ahead and get another trilogy from that same part, and that is the Dragon Star trilogy. And I meant to take off the price tag of these. So I have Stronghold is the first book, and I don't know what these are about. Stronghold, these are killing me right now. I hate sitting in this position. Dragon Token is the second book, and then Skybowl is the last one in the trilogy. And unfortunately, I don't think I can read these, but at least I have the first two books in the Dragon Prince series. I have the first trilogy, I have the first two books, so I can start reading that series, and then eventually I can get to the next. I can try to find the next book in the series. Either order it online when I can finally, start buying things online again without having to worry, or look at Books A Million and see what's there. Although I don't know if I'll have as much luck with finding these at Books A Million. Okay, so the next question number, that was 5. So question number 6 is the longest book on your shelf, and although does this one actually, I think about it, this one might be pretty long too. No, not as long as Count of Monte Cristo. Okay, so there's this one is pretty long. This is about it's not gonna read that part. I don't count like things like explanatory notes or glossaries or anything like that because I don't read those. Although sometimes I think I would benefit from reading those. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so 1,095 pages in this one. Count of Monte Cristo. And then, let's see, where are the other ones? Oh. Okay, then we have It by Stephen King. And that is, oh, this one's longer than that one. This one's longer than Monte Cristo, actually. I'm trying to find the last page. So I have read this. I started reading it. Okay, so I started reading it a while back. 1,473 pages. Okay, so that one's a little bit longer than Count of Monte Cristo, actually. Hold on. Let me see. I can't get on my. Oh. Anyone, you're being difficult again. Let me see if The Stand might be longer than It. Let's see if it's longer than It. Nope. It is longer. Because this is 1,436 pages. So It is longer. But it can also depend on the. It can also depend on the edition of the book as well. And then let's see, where's. Oh, I forgot. I was gonna say. How long is Les Mis? Let's see afterward. Alright, so next is 460. So I think Les Mis, this edition of Les Mis is 460. So that one is longer than, I think that one's longer than the Count of Monte Cristo, but it's not longer than It, I think. So It might be the longest one that I have on my shelf. Let's see. Okay, so let's look at the other one. I was thinking that was pretty long. Let me see how long this one is. Oh, wow. Huh. This one looks a lot longer than not as long as it looks. This was the one I was looking for. You know, okay, that is 1,024. So this is longer than Count of Monte Cristo, but actually no, Count of Monte Cristo might still be longer. I don't remember if it's 11. 1024, so 1,024. But It is still the running contender of longest book. Of course, that doesn't can't put into consideration all those leather-bound books. So I'm not putting those into consideration. Oh wait, no, this is longer. So this one is. Okay. I think it's just a little bit longer than Gone with the Wind, and which actually this reminds me that I was thinking for the goal of reading these books like this is just reading them and going through, starting with making sure I get some 500-page books read first, and then coming to these. Okay, so this is just a bit longer than Gone with the Wind, because this is 10.95. So it's 195, and that one's still in the 1,000, and that one's 1,024. So this one is a bit long, a good chunk longer than Gone with the Wind. But it clearly wins. I think. Okay, so sorry, my knees are in pain, although bending down like that is probably not good either. So I'm gonna get back on my knees. I'm always worried this stool that I have my laptop on is gonna break on me one day. Okay, so now I finally finished answering that question. That was number 6. Okay, number 7. What is the shortest book on yourself? And I'm guessing it's this one. The Three Simple Men, the folk tales written by Tolstoy and retold by John M. Sweeney. It's about, counting the endnotes and stuff, it goes to like 60 pages, counting the endnotes if you read these, but really it's 59, so it's 59 pages, so this I think is the shortest book. And which makes sense because they're just folk tales. A collection of and folk tales are pretty short usually. They're a collection of, let me see, I'm gonna count how many there are. Three folk tales. There's only 3 in here. Okay, so question number. What is the predominant genre? And that's fantasy. Although my classics has gotten a lot bigger, so that's probably my second biggest genre on here, and then probably all my Stephen King books, which is not a genre. Stephen King is not a genre, but he is in a genre, the horror. So far, though, he's the only horror author I've read. I have tried other ones, though. And I want to try more. I want to give others. I kind of like Judith Ware. Although, would you count that as... Well, it's more thrillery, but it's still kind of a subgenre of horror. Because you are in a position of getting scared, like, so I think it's still considered horror. Okay, so, but fantasy is my predominant. And have you done a bookshelf tour is question number 9, and nope, I want to know how to go about it. I mean, and I don't have the editing skills to do that whole transition thing, where you, but it's just a bit of a challenge for me. I want to know how to go about it, and I feel like I would need extra help. And, it's not like I have a separate, and I wouldn't know how to, I could use my phone, but I wouldn't know how to upload my phone onto the video. I don't have that because I film on my laptop, so I wouldn't know how to put that on here as well. It's a bit difficult. Like I said, I don't have the editing skills, so, and, I need someone to help me with that, and my parents don't have the editing skills either. So, no, I don't know if I ever will do one. I wish I could say I could. Maybe I'll, have a roommate that knows how to do that kind of stuff one day, or a significant other that knows how to do that kind of stuff. Okay, so next, question number 10. This is where I have to actually do something other than showing you books, which is go to a random number generator and talk about the book that corresponds with that number. Okay, so I think I figured that out. And where's the phone? Okay, here's my phone. I think I figured out how to do that. Okay. So next, I put the lower limit is 3, and 290 is the number, so generate. Okay, so 117. Okay, so I'm gonna have to count these things again. Sorry, it's gonna take me a minute. And like that, I don't have the editing skills. Okay, this time I guess I'm gonna start from the side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 30, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117. Oh, crap. There it is. 170. So I got the number the generator gave me, 117. And this is not exactly a good thing because it's in the middle of a series, which I haven't even started, so I haven't read the first book of that series. So I don't know a lot. I mean, I know enough that I bought it. So, and that is... I'm sorry that took so long. Most people can edit out the counting part, but... or at least make it go by faster. With the whole... but is the second book from the Tawny Man trilogy. This is The Golden Fool. This is basically about Fitz and the Fool. And I guess I kind of ship them. No, I mean... like, I'm with Sam from Thoughts on Tomes. I kind of ship the Fool and Fitz. I'm not a big fan of the Fitz and Molly. In fact, she kind of annoys me. But let me go ahead and tell you the first trilogy. This is the second trilogy, I believe, with these characters. In the first one, we have Fitz, who is the bastard son of one of the princes of this world, Prince Chivalry, and he is given to the stable master. And to raise and stuff, and then one day the king notices his Chivalry's father, the king, King Shrewd, notices Fitz and takes him in, and his father has essentially abdicated the throne and kind of abandoned Fitz. I think ends up killing himself, or something, or ends up dying, getting killed or something. And Fitz is raised by the king as his assassin. Now, it's not the traditional assassin. It's not like assassins as in, you know, like, Nevernight or anything like that. You know, it's mostly him learning how to be a spy for King Shrewd and gather information. And so it is a really good trilogy. It's, a lot of people, it's not their favorite. People mostly read it just to get to the Live Ship Traders because that's one of the favorites. I still thought it was really good. I like the magic systems of the skill and the wit. I actually remember it. The skill is, mind melding between humans. It's something that Fitz's family, the Farseer line, has. And then the wit is one that everyone fears that Fitz also has because you basically are mind melding with the beast, and he's told by one of his father figures that if you do that, you are in danger of becoming more beast than man. That's why everyone's afraid of it. And it's full of political intrigue, and Fitz's life is constantly in danger, and he can't have a normal life. In fact, one of his uncles that's still alive, hates his guts and wants to get rid of him. Because he could technically, I think, even though he's a bastard, if necessary, he could end up on the throne. And then, like I said, this is about Fitz and another character that's introduced in the original Farseer trilogy, the Fool, who was the courtly jester, and they become good friends, and they become a very interesting friendship, and they become closer in the last book in the Farseer trilogy. And in this one, I think Fitz is trying to find the Fool for some reason because there's something going on and something connected to the Fool. And this is, like I said, the second book in that trilogy. I do not have the first book. I only spotted the second book and the third book at Black Castle Books. It was a bit of a disappointment, but I bought it. It's probably because someone bought the first book before, and then we're like, oh, well, next time I'll come back and get the other two books. And, of course, I already bought them, so it was too late for them. Kind of feel bad, but, first come, first serve. So I don't, that's all I can really tell you is in the first book, and and then the second book, and even, in the first trilogy, I can tell you what that is about and what the little bit of information I know about this. Okay, so let me put this back. Here. So next question is, this is so painful on my knees. My knee was aching yesterday. I imagine it might be aching today too, and it make it difficult to go running. Okay, so do you have fan merch or any decorations on your bookshelf? And yes, I do. Let's show you though. Okay, well, let me go in while I'm showing you those, and then I'll go to the last question, which is show your bookshelves. I'll combine those two. Okay, this is not part of it. This is, okay, let me go ahead and put these away while I'm at it. Okay, put these away. Okay, so let's see. This goes by Lorna Doone. I think this one was here. Oh, it's down here. This might have been down here. I don't think that's right, but that's where it's going. As long as I have room here. Okay. One second, I'm almost ready, you guys. So I may as well put these away. Okay, let's see. What do I have? Okay, first, these up here. I don't really have a place for them yet. So I do have, I am one of those people who does have those little bookends. You can see it. You can kind of see it. It's a hedgehog, I believe. Or no, it's a snail. The hedgehog's over on my movie shelf. I used to collect Beanie Babies. I still have some of them. We have all the bears. The bears were special, and for those people who collect Beanie Babies. But I got this, and I don't remember when I got this guy, or if I just bought it myself. But I love dog. I'm a dog person. Although I'm considering getting a cat if I ever do live on my own. And then, I don't remember where this came from. I don't know if it came from someone else. But this little glass or porcelain little doggy. Thought I'd keep these. Since it's so small, I decided to keep it with other ones. I put him up here, these two up here. And then I also got this one from TJ Maxx, Adventure Awaits. That's probably really dirty. If you can see it. Because I'm a big fantasy reader, so I figured that would be perfect. And then I also have Daenerys Targaryen from in her dark blue dress. I don't remember what season this is. I think this might have been after Dothraki and Khal Drogo's death. I hope I said that right. I can never say that right. See, it might have been a later season before, before people really started hating the show. I want to get the other. I actually really liked the one I got from my coworker. Virginia. It has Dany when she's living with the Dothraki, and Dany's with her dragon, her little baby dragon. Put that there in front of this book so people stand up. I notice that the females don't always stay up unless they have something a full around the bottom of their, like some of the dresses are like a bubble dress, but ones like this where you just have the shoes, they won't stand up as easily. And then this is what I got for the cruise, because one of the islands we went to last year on 2019 cruise, we went to St. Thomas, which we have been there before, but we just went to the beach the first time. So this time we went to the town. We were at a town, and Terry and I went to a pirate museum, and I got this Ship on a Bottle. I thought about getting one of the books that was like pirate history and stuff like that, but I was like, with Terry's persuasion, I decided I don't need to get another book right now. I can get those off Amazon for cheaper, or now there's books, or book depository if I wanted to. And then I got some more. I got a lot of Funko Pops. I got Ron and Hermione in their Yule Ball wear. I love it, and I ship these two. I'm not one of those people who ships Harry and Hermione or Draco and Hermione. I'm Ron, Hermione, or I don't know how you would say their ship name, but I ship them fully because I personally do not understand the whole Hermione and Draco. I mean, I know some girls fall for bad boys, but Hermione hates him, and not in a she's secretly in love with him. I mean, she genuinely does not like him, and he's an ass to her. And she's not the type of person who would, even if a guy's an ass to her, that I'm going to still fall for him because he's just misunderstood. She's smarter than that. It would take a lot for me to ship them together. I do think Tom Felton is very attractive, though. Harry and Hermione, I can kind of see it in a small way, but mostly I see them more as like brother-sister type. I think it was the movie's fault that people started shipping them. And then, I got my wand. I sucked at this, the whole, if you point at certain things and you can do a spell and make things happen, but I was terrible at it. It wouldn't, the motions wouldn't work or whatever, however it works. So, and this was before, I knew about the worst things that J.K. Rowling has done, so don't judge me for getting, having Harry Potter stuff. And then, I don't remember where I got this, but this mask, an Italian style mask, and I put some stuff in here, which I think that I love the design on this, and then I got this from when I did an internship in DC. My coworker got me this. I think it was the one in DC. It might have been the one, actually no, I think it was the one at the, not the DC one, but the one in Virginia. The internship I did at the, Dodia. And then, that's cute, I think that was really cute. It's a little rock design, ladybug. And then, this is this was on a necklace, but I don't have the necklace anymore, the actual necklace part. It's this little kitty with holding a jewel or something. And then, one of my aunts had passed away a few years ago, so this is an angel of her. So her angel watching over us. So we all got, I think all of us cousins and her kids each got one. And I honestly don't know what to do with it. I don't know what's hanging up. I mean, it looks like it's probably an ornament, but all my Christmas stuff got put away, so there's that. And then, of course, I had to get Pennywise Funko Pops. So this is the original mini-series version, the Tim Curry version. And then this is, and I can't decide, I love both versions. They're different, but I love them both. And this is my cousin Philip convinced me to pick when I couldn't decide which one I wanted because there were multiple ones. I got this one at Walmart, and this one was probably for Books A Million. This is has him holding the balloon and I Love Derry on it. But see the cute little buck-tooth smile. I know that's probably not supposed to be cute. I got both of them because I wanted both of them. And now I also want all the Losers Club. I would love to have all of them. Sometimes I like to be weird and talk to my Funko Pops like they're almost like they come alive, like on Toy Story. Because I'm weird and creepy like that. And then I got a few more things up here. I'm not gonna take. I also have. I'm seriously convinced I have done this tag for you guys before. So I'll probably just put the 2021 when I upload this for the title. Because I am convinced I have done this one before. But I couldn't remember. And I didn't see a video when I looked at my channel. So I got my mom one year got me this. Because I finally was pointing out to them where I finally make sure that I find I would like some merch from some of my favorite shows and movies and books and stuff like that. So my mom got me this because I'm a Ravenclaw. That's my house, my Hogwarts house. And this is one of those things that I think you can either put it on a shelf or you can hang it up because it has a little thing right here where you can hang it on something. You can see it right there. I decided to put it on a slide because then I would have to like put a nail. So I keep that. And then when we got one year, it was either AwesomeCon. I can't remember if it was the AwesomeCon or at which is now GalaxyCon. Or maybe in Wizard World. One of the conventions I went to, I picked up this because the regular action figure, and unlike the Funko Pops, I do not take this guy out of the box. I kept him in here because this is more closer to the animated and comic book version or version of the Riddler because he's one of my favorite villains next to the Joker. And then I have a few more things on this shelf, and then I'm going to move on to the. And I will have to check and see if I have any on the classics. So you see. Let me lift my thing up. So that's that bookshelf. And then can you see it? And then there's this bookshelf. I get my head out of there. Because you don't need to see my fuzzy head. Almost done. Okay, and then I got two more things. That was the last part, showing you guys the bookshelf is the last question. So I'm just showing them after I've shown you all the stuff. Okay, and the last thing I got was I think my grandfather, one of my grandfathers made this. And I put stuff in here, like I have a chain necklace in here. I used to keep coins in here. But then I started giving them to my dad because he also keeps coins he can, exchange for dollars and stuff. And I keep it because, like I said, it reminds me of my grandfather's. I was very close with. And then, like as I've said this before, that Sound of Music is one of my favorite movie musicals. I have not seen the actual stage show. I might have seen it at least one time, at least once. But this came in the special DVD box. And it's a music box which plays the song My Favorite Things. So I decided to put it on the shelf. And there. Okay, now you are going to go traveling to my other bookshelf. I don't think I have anything on those shelves except, just bookends and books. So let's go over there. Okay. So next is, okay, so I don't really have anything. Let's see if I can show you all the, oh crap, the mouse is falling. The mouse is going to have to go on my desk for now. Okay, here's the bookshelf. Okay, there. And it's been, I don't want my head in there. Okay, so I don't have anything on, any knickknacks on here. I did want to get like a globe, a mini globe, but my mom was like, "You have too many knickknacks. You don't need another one." I do have the bookends mom got me spelled the word book. And this is most of my classics, particularly the ones where I have a bunch of books by that author, with the exception of some of my American classics like Fitzgerald and Edith Wharton is not over here, and then over here, those are basically books where I have not bought the next book in the series, but I still might want to continue. Like I have The Lost Queen. I do have an ARC of that, thanks to my sisters from College Wings. She got me the ARC for that. And I'm thinking, since the book's already on, and she did say I can do what I wanted with it, so, I mean, although technically you're not supposed to give those, but I think you just can't sell them, but you could probably donate them and not get in trouble. It's just like, is someone gonna, so that's The Forgotten Kingdom, and then Enchante has a sequel too, so I don't know if it's gonna be a duology or not. And then King of Scars, the next book is coming out soon, really soon. And then Wicked Saints, next book is, I can't think of what it's called, but the next one is coming out as well. I don't know, actually, Ruthless Gods, that one's already out. That's what it's called, Ruthless Gods, that one's already out. And then, so is the sequel to Gilded Wolves, The Silvered Servants. And then Gods of Jade and Shadow does not have a sequel, as far as I know, but I kept it because I did like it, but I might get rid of it because I don't know if I love it as much. Okay, so let's get you guys. Okay, and then the Three Simple Men is normally over there as well. Has been put over there as well. Okay, you got a lovely display on the shelves. A lovely display inside my closet. Okay, so sorry, like I said, my knees they hurt when I. So that is the bookshelf 2001's. That's probably the closest you'll come to a bookshelf tour. Is the 2000 this tag video, because I mean maybe I'll figure it out one day if you guys want, but I don't know how to go about it. I would need some help. I mean, maybe my parents will be willing to help me to figure it out with me, but I don't think any of us really have the patience to learn how to figure out all that technical stuff, all those skills. So if you guys like this tag, be sure to give it a thumbs up, click subscribe if you haven't already, click the bell notification below, and see to upload when I post new videos. I hope you are continuing to wear your mask, washing your hands regularly, staying 6 feet apart from people, and being kind to everyone, and as always, enjoy your reading. Bye!